Parents say a lot of things to their kids, some good and some bad. Now, what I found is that most parents say three things that are emotionally damaging to their children and the relationship they have with them. Now, in today's video, you're going to find out what those three things are, why they're damaging, and what you can and should be saying instead. Plus, if you watch all the way to the end, I'll throw in a bonus tip to help you in your parenting. Now, let's get into it. I'm Jason Curtis, husband and father of four. This channel is all about strengthening families by helping parents do and be better. Welcome to Principal Parenting. As parents, we say a lot of harmful things, and we don't even realize that what we're saying is harmful or damaging to our child. But there's also some things we say purely out of habit, which means we don't even know that we're saying it or doing it. But that's okay. We can change, and they're easy things to stop doing and to start doing the good things. And when we start doing the good things, they're going to pay huge benefits. When our children were young, they would come to us with a problem or something that they were really excited about. And we were maybe in the middle of something. Maybe we were on our phone or messaging or even just watching Netflix or something. But they would come to us in their excitement and they would start talking to us. And instead of stopping what we were doing, looking at them and giving them our full attention, we would be distracted. And so we would give them distracted listening. And it would look something like this. As a child shares something, we're like, yeah, okay, oh yeah, that sounds good, okay. And we're not even paying attention to the child. Well, the child sees that as a negative reaction from us, a negative response. And so they see themselves as not as important to us, or not very important. In fact, other things we're doing are important. So instead of stopping and focusing on them or saying, hey, can you wait 10 seconds? Then I can give you my full attention. We would just give them the distracted listening. And that's not the message that we wanted to send them. Okay, now we've since changed that, and we would have to call each other out on that, saying, hey, I noticed when you did this happened with the child, and I noticed this reaction to them. And we've since changed, and now we take more positive steps and we have more positive interactions with them. But there are three things that parents say that are very damaging to their child and the relationship we have with them. Number one, you can't, or because I said so. Now, there are certainly times when we need to tell our child no, and that's completely fine and totally acceptable. The trouble is when we don't give a reason for that. Now, it's very damaging not to give a reason when we're telling our child no or they can't for some reason. Now, the reason it's damaging is because they feel like you're holding a secret, or you aren't including them, or they're being left out. And when they're being left out, they're not feeling the love from you that they need to and should be feeling. So you need to ask yourself, if you're not giving them a reason, why is that? Now, I realize when they're very young, sometimes no is acceptable. But as they get older, they need the reason. They need the interaction. So ask yourself, if you're not giving a reason, why is that? So I would encourage you, every single time you're going to say no or tell them they can't or something like that, you need to give them a reason. You need to be open and honest with them. And it might be something like an impression. Hey, you can't go to this party because I just have a feeling that it wouldn't be right. And you may need to kind of back it up a little bit by why you feel it isn't right. And that's okay. Share those feelings with them. Maybe it's something like you don't want them to go because of the environment and it has the potential to set up problems. But you need to be open and honest. Now, the child may not like it, and that's okay. They don't have to like it, but they do know that no matter what, you're going to be open and honest with them. They need to know that you are there for them. And the best thing that you can do is when you're going to say no, replace it with something. Since you've basically taken something away from them, replace it with something maybe the two of you could do together, maybe some other suggestions that they can do, but you want them to leave having a positive and uplifting feeling to this interaction. Number two, why can't you be more like other person or other sibling? Now, the child only sees this as negatively comparing them to somebody else. They only see that as, I'm not good enough. They don't see that as what you want to have happen as for them to change. And essentially by saying that, you are negatively comparing them to someone else. You are trying to shame them into doing better. You're trying to point out where they're lacking so they can do better. And a child will only see this comparing as negatively. It will never turn out in a positive way. So here's what we should be doing. First of all, stop comparing to others. Every child and every person is different in their own way. They're going to think differently, act differently, do different things, and that's okay. That is totally fine. But we cannot compare them to each other. So what you can do is, if they didn't achieve something, praise whatever effort was given. Let them know that the effort is the right thing and they should continue to do that. Now, if it's something that they did, maybe they damaged something. Let's say they broke a vase because they were extremely upset. First of all, stop and calm down and think about the situation for a minute. Whatever you need to do to calm down, put your arm around them. Say, hey, come on over here, buddy. Let me know, come on over here, honey. Maybe you hug them, put your arm around them, and acknowledge their thoughts and emotions. Say, hey, you seem a little frustrated. Why is that? Or did I say something? Did I do something? I'm sorry. Think about the situation and how it may have happened. Okay? Let them know that it's okay with what they felt. Ask them to share what it is that they felt with you so that you can know and change moving forward. They need to know that that's okay. And if you had a part in it, you're going to accept that responsibility. And then ask for a solution, or maybe you present a solution like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize I did that. I'm going to do this next time. Or next time you're feeling this, what do you think are some things that you can do so we don't have another broken vase? Okay, you want them to have a positive exchange leaving this. They want to be more uplifted. You don't want them to leave angry in this. Number 3, instant disagreement. Now, we all know that coworker, maybe that friend, or maybe we even have a child that the second we tell them something, they immediately say, no, I don't. So for instance, you go to them and say, hey, I don't like when you do this. No, I don't do that. Or they instantly disagree, and it's frustrating. And that's an outright disagreement. But a more subtle way, and how it applies to our children and us, is they come to us with maybe something that happened at school or with some friends or in a friend group or something like that. And we immediately start telling them, well, the other person did this because of this, or, oh, you should have done this or this. And we're trying to solve their problem, but mostly what we're doing is letting the child know that we are supporting somebody else. The child isn't important. The other person is more important, and we're somehow now standing up for the other person when we weren't even in that situation. We don't exactly know what happened. We don't know exactly what the child felt and why, because we haven't taken that time. We've basically just instantly disagreed with the child. Now, what the child takes from that is not a positive experience. They just see it as, don't tell mom and dad this thing, or don't come to mom and dad because that's not important to them. And I can't feel the way I felt. And that's not the message that we want to share or that we want to send to them. So here's what we should be doing in a situation like this. We need to just listen. Sometimes they just want someone to listen to. Maybe they just want to vent. Hey, now we need to sympathize with them if that's what they need at that moment. Now, sympathizing isn't necessarily agreeing with them. It is hearing their thoughts, their feelings, and then letting them know that that's okay that they felt that way, and possibly how they can work through it. But we can't just start fixing their problem and offering solutions. That's not really what they want. Now, you can ask them, is there anything I can do? How can I help you in this? And they might want you to do something, but if they don't, then don't give that help. That's just going to make it worse, okay? But sympathize with them. Ask them questions. A lot of, something that I say with my kids is, tell me more. Tell me about that. How did you feel? How did that make you feel? Wow. And that's how you connect with them, to let them know it's okay to share these thoughts, share these feelings. You sympathize with them and you validate what it is they're feeling. So what can we learn from these 3 things that are damaging to our children? Well, the message that we are sending to our child is that they aren't important. They aren't good enough. And we don't love them like they should, or like we should. They feel the lack of love. Even though that's not what we intend to have happen, that's the message that's being received. And it's because we've been dismissive to their thoughts and their feelings and the things that are important to them. Since we have shown that we're dismissive, that is translated to not important. Essentially, what we're doing is we're building a wall between us and them. So not only are we emotionally damaging to them, but that's how we're cutting off the relationship. And that's not what we want to have happen. We want the opposite. So what we do to overcome this is we show love unconditionally. No matter what happened, we love them and support them. If they didn't achieve something, we love them. If they purposely broke something right in front of our face to piss us off, we still love them. Okay? We might not love the action, but we love them no matter what. That's what they need. So as they get older, we're going to need to start having deeper, more emotional conversations with them where we share our thoughts and feelings, and we encourage them to do so also. But we can't make them do that. But we can lead the way by letting them know it's okay to share those things by us doing them. And we need to validate their feelings, which means when they share with us, we don't pass judgment. We don't judge why they felt the way they did, or why they thought or said or something like that. But we do listen to them and help them work through it. And we don't instantly solve their problem. We sort of ask them and let them decide if they want our help or if they want to work through it on their own. So here's how something like that might work. If they share their thoughts and feelings about an experience, and we have something similar, instantly we usually want to, oh, this happened to me, and then we go on, and 5 minutes later, the kid's bored out of their mind, and they're thinking, this isn't why I came to you. But you can say something like, I've had something like that happen to me, and I felt the same way. I know what you're feeling. And that's okay. And then you can ask them, would you like to know what I did? And they might say yes, they might say no, but whatever they say, you need to respect that. So they just sometimes want someone to listen to, but they want to be validated, knowing that what they have said to you is important. What's important to them is important to you. And this might go great sometimes, it might not go great sometimes, but this and love is a skill that must be practiced. And the more you do it, the better you'll get. And you can reflect on past situations where, oh, that worked, so keep doing that. That didn't work, so do something different. And that's how we learn and grow, and we change together, and we always give them the love and support that they need. Now, as parents, we don't always know where we stand or if we're doing it right or not. And that's why I've created a free parent scorecard that identifies 8 areas where you're doing good, or maybe you could use some improvement, and it kind of shows you how you can get there. If you found value in this video, like, subscribe, and share it with anyone who you feel might benefit from it also. And as always, give us your thoughts about the video and any suggestions you have for any other videos in the comments below. Now, for those of you that stuck around to the end, here's the bonus tip. You're a mom or a dad, you are not a maid. And instantly you kind of recognize this, but here's what's happening. You're complaining about your child cleaning up as you're cleaning up after them. So essentially, yes, you are a maid, but that's not your role. Your role is a mom or a dad. So if you want them to start cleaning up after themselves, you need to gently, lovingly remind them to pick up and give them a timeline. It does not look something like this. Clean this up right now. That's not loving. That's in a more negative connotation. So here's how it happens. Hey, do you think you could clean this up by 5 o'clock? Or, hey, will you pick up your shoes before 3? Something like that, because now they understand something needs to happen by a certain time. And presented in a way like that, you're going to see huge results. If you want more information on any of the topics discussed here today, check out our other videos. And if you want more personalized guidance to help you in your parenting, check out the links in the description. Happy parenting and have a great day.